I am Jeffrey Vilado, and in the Principality of Serbia campaign from the beta version 0.92 of the Stainless Steel Historical Improvement Project, a mod for Medieval 2 Total War. The campaign is on very hard. We have started with controlling Rus, and we have already expanded to control 4 settlements: Skada, Ragusa, and the one I have no idea how to pronounce, Vrabosna. Perhaps someone let me know. The campaign is on very hard, and before I go on, many thanks to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. There are now over 200 subscribers. Thank you.
Orders, my lord.
So this is Dessa, one of the family members. He is outside Rus, and this is the end of the 25th turn. We are in the end of the summer, 1144 AD. This is our faction leader, our Veliki Zupan. We have various units scattered here and there, just one levy unit in Skada. One thing I would like to see next is some advice about how to proceed with this campaign. The victory conditions basically are that we should control all of the traditional area of Yugoslavia, plus bits of northern Greece. And here's the situation at the moment. You can see the Byzantines have moved up and are now controlling an area that previously belonged to Hungary. And we have a border there between our 3 states: Hungary, the Roman Empire, and Serbia. I know less about the history of Serbia than I would have liked to know, but my impression is that the Serbs formed for the first time their state as Byzantine vassals and remained loyal to the Byzantines and lived peacefully until Constantinople fell to the Crusaders. It will be another 60 years before the 4th Crusade is launched, so what do we do until then? We have our Byzantine allies to the south, the Hungarians to the north. We're in peace with both of them. We're allied to the Venetians. We have no enemies. So here are the Kipchaks. Their diplomat has reached Rus.
Greetings. I come bearing word for you today.
They're offering us trade rights in exchange for 200 florins, which we accept. They are elated.
Many thanks. You do not realize how much we appreciate. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, my good friend. He had a Russian accent. So they've hired a Russian diplomat to do their bidding. And so as we go through this turn, what are our options? I would definitely not want to attack the Byzantines, although at some point we have to obtain some settlements from them. We can buy them off them. There's not much point in attacking anyone else except for Hungary in terms of the areas we need to control. We can maybe sail away in the meantime to some exotic place to conquer some faraway peoples once we have a navy. But seeing that we are a small state at present, capable of fielding mostly very weak militia, such imperialist ambitions would seem reckless at the moment. Another possibility might be to buy some province of anyone who has one up for sale, so as to break out of our tiny corner of the world. So we have something to do, waiting for the 4th Crusade. Give me your ideas if you have any. So Almora Betun are the Moors, Novgorodskaya something rather is the Duchy of Novgorod. Here's the Kingdom of Castile, Hungary, the Kingdom of Aragon, the Kievan Rus, Venice, with whom we have a marriage alliance, Georgia, Norway, Regnum Hierosolomitanum, the Kingdom of Jerusalem, the Zengids, and the independent sovereignties. So, Radmila Radic, a bride, has been presented to Dessa of Rashka. And we agree to this wedding, and so Dessa of Rashka is now happily married. We have completed the construction of mines near Ras, and we are 26th, well behind the Seljuks Turks, who are the top faction. So we are in the winter of 1144 AD, going towards 1145. And here is our cozy kingdom, tucked in between the Hungarians and the Byzantines with nowhere to go. We also have no ships at the moment. Here's Ras. We are building a couple of things at Ras. Dessa moves to Ras. And Zupan Uros goes over to Skada. We have a unit going to Ras to retrain itself.
Orders, my king. Of course.
And here's our Veliki Zupan. He's in Ragusa. And he is building a church.
Your will shall be obeyed.
You're probably aware that if you leave a general in a settlement and you don't move him,
Move out.
he gains bad traits, he gains drunkard traits.
An honor, my king.
On the other hand, while he is in a settlement, he gives his bonuses to tax income and other income that can be obtained from settlements. So it's good to have generals in settlements.
With honor.
Here we'll build a watchtower to keep an eye on the Hungarians.
A keen watch here.
That's a good thing. And so for this reason I move my generals so they expend 95% of the movement before they settle down back to their chosen settlement, so that they don't develop drunkard traits.
Provide a perfect ambush site, Lord. Of course. Move out.
It is a bit annoying and time consuming to do this, but at least we only have 4 settlements, 4 governors at the moment, so it's not so bad. So there's also a church being built in Skada. It's nearly finished. Here's one in Ragusa. Veliki Zupan is getting on. He's 64 years old. There's a blacksmith or something being built in Ras. And and we can retrain one of our depleted units, the one that just arrived in Ras. Here's Vietoza Zoric in Vera, Bosnia. So Dioclea is ancient Albania, I guess you could say, and its capital is Skada. It's one of the provinces we had to win, as is also Ragusa and Bosnia. We need a few more as mandatory, but these were the key provinces. We had to get these early in the game. That was very important. And so here is Vietoza Zoric. He has two rather depleted units, so they move over to Ragusa to get retrained, because there's nothing in Bosnia except some village houses. So this is not very much Ragusa either. It's going to take them a year to get retrained. We are building a ship, by the way, in Ragusa. It will be our first ever ship. And here's our diplomat, Zerbomir Zarkovic, in Denmark, the land of the Danes. And his mission is to next go to Poland, strike some diplomatic deal with the Polish. So somewhere in the approximate direction of Poland. Next, make a diplomatic deal with Novgorod, the Kievan Rus, potentially the Cumans, and head down to buy perhaps some of the settlements of the Byzantines and Hungarians. There's not much to say when we go through the AI turns, so I may just cut bits of the going through the turns of the video clip unless there's something happening. One thing that's noticeable, but you may correct me if I'm wrong, is that until the 20th century there were only minor squabbles at worst between the Orthodox Christian states and the Eastern Church in general. There were never any real wars between the Serbs and Byzantines, the Byzantines or Russians, or the Serbs and Bulgarians, or whatever, once they were all Christianized, unlike in the West where there was more strife. And probably that was because they had to deal with the Islamic states that were spreading out towards their lands. And so they had to benefit from making alliances between them. So the situation in the East was very different from that in the West. And although this is not really part of the game, because in the basic vanilla game there are only two Orthodox factions who are far apart, here where we have several Eastern Christian factions, the Georgians as well, there could have been a need to have some kind of mechanic so it simulates historical reality, but I have no real interest to go to war against other Christian states unless Serbia is attacked by someone. And so until I have some feedback from you, or until I get attacked by another state, or have some inspiration. For the time being, I will turtle it out and build up those 4 settlements. But it would be nice to spice it up with some sort of mission or challenge while we're doing that. So give me your ideas. So we have been given a mission to take Sis, which is near Adana in Turkey, near Antioch. There is no chance we get to Sis without ships, and we need another 2 game turns to get a ship built. And so Sis had already fallen by then, has already fallen to someone, who knows who. So the Byzantines have made peace with Hungary, and so even less of a reason to want to start a war with Hungary now. The blacksmith has been completed in Ras, in a church in Skadar, and we are the 26th faction, 8% the strength of the Seljuks. Back to our cozy kingdom. Here's our army, and there's Rashka now in Ras, at the capital. We're now building a boyar, and I'm considering starting to build a knight's stables. We have the money. So Dessa again, he has to move on so he doesn't get drunkard traits. He moves on to Skadar. And a little bit further, he has to expend 95% of his movement to avoid getting bad traits. And here's our Zupan Uros. He is now in Ras. And I'm not your king, you are my king, or at least my prince.
We march, my king.
And here's the Veliki Zupan, the Grand Zupan.
Move out.
And he is still building that church. And our diplomat, Zerbumir,
Speak to mankind. An honor, lord.
he's bumped into a Holy Roman Empire army.
Yes, my king. Greetings, good friend of the Reich.
An opportunity for some wheeling and dealing. It's nice to keep in good terms with everyone. So we're going to offer an attack on the independent sovereignties.
Not quite very good. What else do you have to
Not quite interested. Okay, let's give them some money. That should spark some interest.
Please, another worthy proposal, my friend.
They are pleased.
Nine, this is not likely to
This
happen.
is
Thank you for your
interesting.
time. It was useful.
So giving them, offering them to attack the independent sovereignties just does not interest them. That's interesting. It's part of the way the campaign AI has been set up. So we bumped into more Holy Roman Empire armies and rebel settlement, Brandenburg, near modern Berlin.
Without question, my lord.
I do believe Berlin did not exist then. Yet another Holy Roman Empire army.
At once. Continuing tomorrow, my king.
So here are the rest of our agents. We have a spy, so might as well use him for something. He might as well go and spy towards those new territories that the Byzantines have taken from Hungary. There are a couple of Byzantine diplomats around our kingdom. And here's our merchant. One of our two merchants. He's making 60 florins per turn. And there are other resources nearby, so he's moving to try and get a little bit more money. So here's our second merchant.
Ready to trade. Continuing on.
I am pretending that he's just discovered a new resource, just in case this helps with gaining new traits. So we're building what we can in Ragusa. Here's our Veliki Zupan. That ship is still not finished.
Your will, my king.
And here's Vietozar Zurich. Our Zupan Euros.
My king. My lord. Forward.
Those units will have to be retrained. We cannot retrain them in Bosnia. There's nothing there. And so they have to go either to Ras or to Ragusa. But since Ragusa is busy, and there is a long queue of things waiting to be trained, this captain with his two units will have to go to Ras to get those two units retrained. We have a princess who has appeared near Ragusa, but we have no eligible bachelors. We have a mission to send an emissary to Poland, and Zerbomir Zurich is on his way to Poland. A very timely mission. The Roman Empire have allied themselves to the Georgians, and our ship has been finished. We have our first ship. A princess has been born, presumably to Dessa.
Orders, my king. Men, march.
So those two units make it eventually to Ras, and we can retrain them now. Here they are. We can also retrain that archer unit. Here's our heir, Zupan Urus. We'll give priority to the practice range. We need to get archers. Of course, we also need cavalry. But we can get cavalry at the moment. So archers would be good for defending our cities. Here's Dessa. He's bumped into a Byzantine army on his way to Ras. He's
Men,
a colonel of cavalry, so he has more movement than the other generals. Unfortunately, we left Skada without a governor, and unfortunately the tax rate wasn't high, so we put it back to low to preserve public order. I like to keep the public order high. And this is our Veliki Zupan. I made the same mistake. I left the tax rate on high. Oh no, it's on normal. Let's put it down to low.
we shall not
While our Grand Zupan is moving around. And now we can put it back up to high. And last, and perhaps least, Sviatozar Zorich in that god-forsaken village.
We march, my king.
That is a good thing.
An honor to serve, my lord.
I'm glad you think so. So there's nothing to build in that village. There are some fields being, or there's a road being constructed in Skadar, and the practice range in Ras. The church in Ragusa nearly finished. And our Grand Chieftain is now 65 years old. His days are numbered.
My king.
Our spy, Vlastimir Radisavljevic,
Very good, lord.
is on his way in exploring Hungary. He's on his way to Varad, the Hungarian city that the Byzantines have taken. There was an actual war between the Byzantines and
Good lord.
Hungary at around this time in the 1160s.
Way, my king.
We are in the 1140s.
Moving quietly.
My king? On my way. Yes, my lord.
And here's our second merchant.
Setting up a trade route.
He's pretending he's discovered a new resource just to convince the AI to give him some traits. And
Trade links.
we have found a new resource with our other merchant. Back to our diplomat. He's searching for a Polish city, but the Polish have no roads, and so there's nothing to follow to find their cities.
Yes, my king.
There are no cities in sight. Ah, there's one. Poznan. We're nearly there. We need another game turn.
Continuing tomorrow, my king.
You're continuing not just tomorrow, but for another 6 months. Back to us. So let's have a look at the faction rankings. These are all the factions. We're somewhere near the bottom, as you can see. These are the top 5 factions. 2 of them are Christian, the 2 Roman empires, and the other 3 are Muslim. The Muslim ones are Egypt, the Moabitun, and the Seljuks, I believe. Or maybe the Khwarezmians. Or whatever they're supposed to be. Great Seljuks or whatever. The easternmost Muslims. And we're going back through the turns. I will just cut it off so we don't have to waste time. Okay, so Mara Nemanja has been betrothed to Sviatoslav Zoric, so we have another general happily married. There he is. And we have retrained some units. The Orthodox Church in Ragusa has been completed. We are way behind everyone else in strength.
Friend, may God bless you and your people.
Raphael Antiochus, there's another weird name. The name Raphael comes from Greek. Why is he called Raphael? With an F, even. So I said I had the intention of changing some of the names, so maybe I'll do it before you see the end of this video clip. I'll change his name to Raphael. So in the meantime, let's have a look at what is going on. We have a church now in Ragusa, so we're going to hire our first Orthodox priest in Ragusa. And we also have a church in Skadar, but I don't think we can hire a priest there for some reason. And here's Desov in Ras.
Sire.
And our spy.
Very good, Lord.
With nothing much to do, might as well send him to have a look at the Byzantines. That place called Nis is the capital of the province we have to take, so we have to buy it off the Byzantines.
Into position.
And that other place that the spy is heading towards is Sardica, modern
Yes.
Sofia. We also need that province, I believe.
Bring a proposition for my king.
So we offer trade rights to the Poles.
Do not think our people accept this willingly.
We seem to have twisted their arm into accepting trade rights, a trade agreement, a little bit like Donald Trump.
Bethink something more balanced or generous, perhaps.
It is strange that you give them things for free and they get annoyed. So there's a very generous offer of alliance. Let's hope this does not annoy them.
You are serious?
Okay, they're happily accepted.
Something else you'd like to suggest?
Yes, we are serious indeed. Yes, we also have something else to offer. Why is it only neutral? He was happily whatever, and then he's only neutral. The demeanor is only neutral. Whatever. So we offer them more things, just rejected, neutral. Yeah, just diplomacy is not very interesting in this mod. On the other hand, no one is attacking us, so who cares? So we have a new ally now, Poland. And our mission has been successful. And our Council of Nobles has built 2 ships for us. So that saves us a lot of time, because it takes a lot of time to build ships. So the Council of Nobles just donated 2 merchant ships to our fleet. So we have now a battleship and 2 merchant ships. And we're ready to sail to the unknown. We just need an army and a mission. Somewhere to sail to. So our Veliki Zupan goes over to Bosnia and he has to expend all his movement, or most of his movement. And we can get Sviatoslav Zorich
An honor to serve.
to Ragusa.
Your will, my king. With honor. An honor, my king. We shall not relent, ever!
That's good to hear. I like that determination.
I will make them fear you.
So Zupan Eros is back to Ras,
Orders, my
and Dessa of Rashka, or Russia, is going to go to Skadar.
forward! We have the advantage of surprise here.
The advantage of surprise is a very good thing. So we're building things wherever we can. And we can actually build a wooden fence around Vorobozna. So, Raphael has become Raphael. I have edited the names file. It's a little bit of a hassle to edit all the names, but I may have to do it. And so, that was the end of this episode. No battles this time, I'm afraid. Let's hope there will be some battles to come in the next episodes. Thank you for watching.